Random House Audiobooks presents The New Joys of Yiddish by Leo Rosten, with revisions and commentary by Lawrence Bush. Read for you by Harry Gause, Michael Gause, Larry Keith, Peter Riegert, Ron Rifkin, and Carole Shelley.
Introduction. Oi, a Leben auf dein Cup. Life on your head. This was my grandmother's favorite Yiddish blessing, which she showered on me whenever I did something appealing. A smile, a nod, an intelligent word. It didn't take much to earn life on my head, neither as a boy nor as a grown man. Bubby, as we called her, a childish corruption of Bubbe, or grandmother, lived to be 97, and to embrace her great-grandchildren. They too experienced Yiddish as a kiss on the brow. The real vitality of the language, however, its laughter, its anger, its insurgent brilliance, its gummy accent, could not and would not be a part of my kid's future without Leo Rosten's The Joys of Yiddish. True, Bubby's Mamaloshon, mother tongue, has echoes all over the place, in college classrooms, on the internet, on the theater and concert stage, at festivals and retreats. Still, the generations for whom Yiddish was a voice and not an echo are going, if not gone, and the generation gap created by the Nazis' crematoria has proved unbridgeable. As a result, Yiddish has just one viable survival strategy, and Leo Rosten is its champion. Rosten recognized that Yiddishkeit, the pathways and spirit of the language, was finding a new homeland in American culture. Unlike many Yiddish scholars, he delighted in this fact and treasured every Yiddish word or phrase, intonation or sentence structure that had entered into English usage. Each, to his mind, was a carrier of the complete genetic code of Yiddish. In writing The Joys of Yiddish, Rosten was mapping the Yiddish genome. The map was incomplete, of course. Rosten left out the double helix of modern Yiddish literature and poetry. He avoided the recombinant material of Yiddish political rhetoric and social criticism. He ignored most of the non-American strains of Yiddish culture. He chose humor, anecdote, and breezy erudition as his best tools because, as he wrote in his preface, a good story is exceedingly hard for anyone to forget. As a result, certain more sober Yiddishists were unhappy that Rosten, the kibitzer, won the commercial patent on Yiddish through the success of Joys. A punchline from one of his many jokes might serve to express their attitude. If I had his voice, I'd sing just as good. Patents do need periodic renewing, however. American life and Jewish life worldwide have all undergone tremendous transformations in the 30-plus years since The Joys of Yiddish was published. When Rosten wrote, no women had been ordained as rabbis, nor had the nascent women's movement affected the organizational culture, ritual practice, or liturgy of the Jewish community. Today, women's representation, the adult bas mitzvah, the creation of egalitarian prayer language, female inclusion in the minyan, the cantorate, the rabbinate, is probably the most dynamic force in American Jewish life. When Rosten wrote, Israel was united by the victory of the Six-Day War, and Jewish identity was stirring to life worldwide, even in the heavily repressed Soviet Union. Today, Israel is divided by religious and political conflict. The Soviet Union is a memory, and nearly 20% of Israel's population consists of recent Russian immigrants. When Rosten wrote, Reform and even conservative Judaism were widely satirized as watered-down versions of Judaism. Today, the Reform and conservative denominations are flush with spiritual renewal and a return to tradition, and a fourth denomination, Reconstructionism, has grown to 100 congregations. When Rosten wrote, Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism were the exclusive provinces of Hasidic sects and Jewish historians. Today, Jewish mystical traditions have made a major comeback, riding the wave of spirituality that has drenched the baby boom generation and its younger siblings. When Rosten wrote, Jewish identity suffered from boredom, ennui, the attractions of assimilation, and the repressed memory of the Holocaust. Today, a renaissance in Jewish literacy, text interpretation, ritual innovation, creative arts, and Holocaust commemoration has fostered a revitalization and reinvention of Jewish identity. When Rosten wrote, the final barriers to Jewish entry into the American mainstream and America's most elite circles were eroding, largely as a result of the civil rights movement. Today, that entry is so complete that some 50% of Jews are intermarrying, and Jews are self-conscious about being overrepresented in Forbes magazine's annual listing of the wealthiest Americans. One other change has informed my work and leaves me in a state of apprehension. Dem Jiden Simche, says one Yiddish proverb, is mit a bissel Schreck. A Jew's joy comes with a little fear. When Rosten wrote, the amount of Jewish information available in English to a general readership was fairly skimpy. Today, there is as much free-floating Jewish knowledge between book covers and on the Internet as you could want, which will make my errors, and especially my omissions, seem all the more blatant. Hopefully, I have enough of my Bubba's easy blessings stockpiled to endure the embarrassment, and enough scholarly sensibility to want my mistakes consigned to oblivion rather than made authoritative by the reputation of Rosten's book. Lawrence Bush, Accord, New York.
Preface. I wrote this audiobook because there was no other way in which I could have it. For many years I craved and sought and failed to find a lexicon of just this type. What this audiobook is not. This is not an audiobook about Yiddish. It is not a dictionary of Yiddish. It is not a guide to Yiddish. It is not written for experts in or students of Yiddish. What this audiobook is. This is an audiobook about language, more particularly the English language. It shows how our marvelously resilient tongue has been influenced by another parlance, Yiddish. It illustrates how beautifully a language reflects the variety and vitality of life itself, and how the special culture of the Jews, their distinctive style of thought, their subtleties of feeling, are reflected in Yiddish, and how this in turn has enhanced and enriched the English we use today. So this audiobook explores a fascinating aspect of English. Those words and phrases from Yiddish, some I call Yinglish, some Ameridish, that we today encounter in English books, magazines, newspapers, or hear on television or radio, in movies or nightclubs, or may overhear on the street or in a bus in many a large city in the United States. By Yinglish, I mean Yiddish words that are used in colloquial English in both the United States and the United Kingdom, kibitzer, mishmash, bagel, etc. By Ameridish, I mean words coined by and indigenous to Jews in the United States, kochelein, utz, shmagegi, and so on. Yiddish, Hebrew, and Jewish. For the benefit of innocence, I hasten to add that Yiddish and Hebrew are entirely different languages. A knowledge of one will not give you even a rudimentary understanding of the other. True, Yiddish uses the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, employs a great many Hebrew words, and is written like Hebrew from right to left. But Yiddish and Hebrew are as different from each other as English and French, which also use a common alphabet, share many words, and together proceed from left to right. Nor is Yiddish a synonym for Jewish. Yiddish is the name of a language. Technically speaking, there is no language called Jewish. Jews do not speak Jewish any more than Canadians speak Canadian or Baptists read Baptist. But it would be foolish to deny that in popular English usage, Jewish is used as a synonym for Yiddish. After all, Yiddish comes from the German Jüdisch, meaning Jewish, and in the Yiddish language itself, Yiddish means Jewish. We may as well accept reality. The scope of this audiobook. This audiobook, accordingly, is a lexicon of certain foreign-born words that, 1, are already part of everyday English, schlepp, bagel, schlemiel. 2, are rapidly becoming part of English, schmooze, tchotchke, yenta. Or 3, should be part of our noble language, in my opinion, because no English word so...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?